I love horror movies. If you've seen any of my other reviews, I think that's pretty obvious. My Uncle David, aka Slim, is responsible for my love of all things horror. It's because of him I have an affinity for the slasher genre in particular. I've always loved the Friday the 13th movie franchise. So much so that, as you saw in the intro, last year for Halloween, Slim, my cousin Sarah, and a little bit myself made this awesome mask, which is our own take on the hockey mask killer Jason. With the second Friday the 13th in a row, I have to pay my respects to the hockey mask killer. But I already told you what my favorite movie in the franchise was. If you haven't seen it, please do me a favor. Pause this countdown here and head on over to my very first channel, which nothing's posted there anymore, but take a look at the review there. Hopefully you enjoy it, and then come on back for something not that great. Yeah, 13 is considered by many to be an unlucky number. So why don't we talk about the movies that I'm not too hyped for? It's come to this, folks. This is my top 3 shitty Friday the 13th movies. Yay. Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. This movie sucks. It sucks pretty hard. I mean, shit. When the start of your movie is the unstoppable killing machine Jason getting absolutely bodied, you done fucked up. You done fucked up hard. It's cool though, because apparently Jason can possess people now or some shit. Like, when the fuck did he learn to do that? Like, okay, granted, it's fiction, it's fantasy. I mean, okay, it's Jason at this point is like this superhuman ultra zombie monster, but really, this is the only movie where he possesses people or whatever. And it's not explained at all. It's just, hey, he can do it, deal with it, fuck you. So you've got a Jason movie where Jason's not actually Jason, but he is, because possession? It's the weakest part of the film, though eventually the Juggernaut does reappear in his true form, but it's too little too late to save the movie. The only reason this plays so high on the shit totem pole is the ending. As a horror fan, back when I saw this ending, which is, spoiler alert, which the movie came out like a zillion years ago, watch it! Or, wait, don't watch it. YouTube the ending. Anyway, the ending is Freddy's glove comes out of the ground and it grabs Jason's mask. Which, back then, granted, remember, Freddy vs. Jason wasn't a thing yet. When that happened, my inner fanboy started doing fucking cartwheels. That's awesome! Freddy vs. Jason, and then the actual movie came out, and it's not horrible, but it's a guilty pleasure, but I digress. It won't be on the list. It's not as bad as the other movies that are on here. It's not great though, but it's a guilty pleasure. What was I talking about? It's a very weak entry in the series, but it's a masterpiece compared to the movie that came before it. Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. He's taking that shit. Yeah. Imagine if you clicked on this review of the 3 worst Jason movies ever. Now imagine number 3 and 2 on my list are Space Jam and Looper. Terrible example? Absolutely. But for a movie called Jason Takes Manhattan, sure isn't a lot of Manhattan. He spends most of the movie chasing after this random couple of garbage teenagers who have the worst luck ever. Also, Jason fights Mayweather? Or some shit? I don't know. But he's pretty fucking far from taking Manhattan. I guess Jason Visits Manhattan doesn't have the same ring to it. Whatever. The movie's not good. Not even guilty pleasure good, like Jason X. Those words just came out of my mouth. Not even guilty pleasure good, like Jason X. That movie's garbage! But this movie sucks way worse! Go figure. Jason X is a terrible movie. The only reason that I'm not putting it on this list is Jason actually spends most of the movie in space. Although, that movie's not called Jason Takes Space. I guess because it sounds kind of like Jason's just going to stand around with his thumb up his ass, literally taking up space. I keep getting way off track. All in all, this movie is super forgettable, and Jason's face melts into some lame goo. He looks horrible compared to how he looked in New Blood. And also some dude drowns in a garbage can full of whatever the hell that is. I don't know. What I do know is the acting's terrible. There is no Manhattan. Jason teleports around. Like an hour of the movie is spent on a boat. They should have just called it Jason Gets on a Boat. Here we are. Number 1. Friday the 13th. A New Beginning. The film before this one was, and still is, one of my favorite Friday the 13th movies. A young Corey Feldman faces off against Jason, and it's fucking awesome. It was billed as the final chapter. So, with this movie's title, A New Beginning, a lot could have been done. They could have taken a lot of different roads. Unfortunately, all it does is it brings Jason back, which, hey, I love Jason, so cool, but nah. It's not Jason, it's Roy or some shit. And he's garbage, like this movie. I guess it makes sense. The iconic hockey mask in this movie has some blue bullshit on it. So you know immediately if you happen to flip onto this movie and forget which it is, you can just go immediately, oh, it's this garbage, and flip over to Skinamax and watch some subpar acting that will at least get you semi-wood. You know how everyone hates on Halloween 3, The Season of the Witch, because Michael Myers doesn't actually come out in the movie, and yet it's still called Halloween? Well, I can get that hate. I can. Hell, it wasn't until the second time I actually saw the movie that I could appreciate it for what it was worth. Because the first time I was just A, waiting for Michael Myers, and then B, I was pissed off that there was no Michael Myers. But at least that movie turned out to be half decent. You can get Myers out of your head, and it's not a bad flick. Children die. That kid with the mask is like, there's like cockroaches and shit coming out of his face. That's, we're all pulling punches. You see a kid die, you're like, oh fuck, this movie. But A New Beginning, it just follows the Friday the 13th formula poorly. Then it has a twist that had me scratching my head like M. Night Shyamalan in The Happening. Like, it's the plants. Honestly, if A New Beginning, Jason turned out to be plants, I would have been fucking stoked. Because fuck Roy. Who the fuck is Roy? It's Roy! It's like a reverse episode of Scooby-Doo where the main villain is actually a real monster. And also Scooby-Doo is fucking Triumph, the incel comic dog. Though, I'd watch that. So yeah, A New Beginning is dicks. Huge, deceitful dicks. Fuck you, Roy. So there you have it. My least favorite Friday the 13th movies. If you see these movies on today, do yourself a favor. Flip the channel. Skip them. Don't watch them. Don't do it. Don't be a fucking hero. If you see any of the good Friday the 13th movies like Final Chapter, New Blood, give them a watch. Shit, if you see Jason X, pay your respects and give it a watch. Because at least that movie is not as bad as these three. Hi, Teepee. Hey, what's up? Want a frisbee? Frisbee? Have a frisbee. Please like this video. Without your support, I can't afford frisbees for my puppies. I can't give you this. They didn't like the video. I'm kidding. Here. Frisbee! Oh yeah, it's fine. Just trample my 3DS. You're good.